What is up, everyone? This is the David Wells Experiment. I'm your host, David Wells. It has been a while. I've tried to do a couple comeback episodes. Not like I did go. I didn't physically go somewhere, but I just got distracted. So anyway, um, I was about to try to quote Nacho Libre, but I'm like, will I get sued for copyright? Probably not. Oh wait, I think I've made that joke before. So I was wondering if you'd join me in my quarters tonight for some toast. I guess if I talk about it, then it's okay. Like, make a commentary on it. Anyway, yeah, I'm definitely going to have to use the AI audio to remove the background noise. You won't be able to hear it, but there's some dude who's just blaring Tejano in his yard. I guess he's having a party. Anyway, that's aside the point. So I've been gone for a while. I've recorded some failed comeback attempts. I don't know why I didn't post any of them. And I comment about this in all the others. So, yeah, I may release them one day. But anyway, as of now, consider this the comeback episode. Unless I flake out and don't upload this one either. But I'm going to make the dangdest effort, darnest, I don't know, effort to make sure that doesn't happen. So anyway, what's going on? What's going on? I don't, let's see. Well, quite a bit has happened. I remember, let's see. What was it? Oh, um, back in September or October, I think it was, I got kind of depressed at the thought that Russia might use nuclear weapons. So I'm like, geez. Anyway, that kind of was a cloud over me for a bit. Um, what's funny is, oh, one thing I want to do is, one thing I want to do is, where is it? I called the mental health line and chatted with them. Let's see, where is it? I'm looking, but anyway, yeah, for some reason. Okay, it must have been a second ago. It's funny, I'm coming across all these different text messages. Let's see. This'll be fun. Hi, I'm Kevin. I'm Emilu Winemaker. And then it's like, you've got the wrong number. I'm not Kevin. Aren't you Kevin, Rag and Bone Marketing Manager? So, Emilu Winemaker. I guess auto text. How did that? That feels like the thing that would get auto corrected. Anyway, another text message. Hi, hello, who is this? Anna, I'm Miss Lee. How are you? I'm not Anna. I think you've got the wrong number. I'm really sorry. I hope the wrong way didn't bother you and have a nice day. Okay, that one's pretty civil. Some of these they try to it's funny. Some of these are like I'll get wrong text message, wrong numbers, and they're like, "Would you want to chat?" And I'm like, it's one of those things where I'm like, well, geez, it's a wrong number. What would we have to talk about? Oh, dang, I got a text from an old coworker. Cool dude, but um, see, shoot. I really thought, oh, okay. Alrighty. So here's one of the things I want to do. I'm going to, let's see. I'm, so for those who don't know, the mental health hotline in America, it used to be some big long number, but now it's just a simple three number thing, kind of like 911, except the mental health hotline is 988. I have both texted them and I have called them. You can do either. I think you have to fill out some questionnaire. Don't know if you have to, but it's not like, oh, you didn't fill this out. But they do a thing where before you start talking, you just text like yes, no on a scale of this. Yeah. So anyway, where should I start from this? Okay. Okay, I'll just start with the actual chat. So here's the person. I'm gonna do a voice just so we can distinguish. Hello, my name is Maria. What can I call you while I take two. Hello, my name is Maria. What can I call you while we chat? David. Welcome to the chat line, David. For demographic purposes, please send me your age, gender, and zip code. I replied, survey thing, I believe I filled that out and sent it. And just for clarity, I put 35 cis male 78233. Thank you for that info. What brings you to the chat line today? So I'm not like suicidal, but I'm having a sort of existential thingy. I didn't want to use crisis, but thingy is just I watched too much of that show, Angry Beavers. Okay, Ari, let's see. Uh, okay, I'm gonna do like three different voices. I'm gonna do this is the voice I'll do for Maria, and I'm just gonna do like kind of a Rick voice when I'm like reading my text. And if I break that and just do a normal voice, then you'll know I'm just making a commentary. All right, so let's start from the top. Hello, my name is Maria. What can I call you while we chat? David. That was a terrible Rick voice, but oh well. No wrong answers. Welcome to the chat line, David. For demographic purposes, please send me your age, gender, and zip code. The survey thing, I believe I filled that out and sent it. 35 cis male 78233. Thanks for that info. What brings you to the chat line today? So I'm not like suicidal, but I'm having a sort of existential thingy. I'm glad you came here for support. Tell me a bit about what's been going on. I stay up on current events. It kind of upsets me that we're getting out of the pandemic, and then Putin invaded Ukraine, and that at any moment he could just fire nukes. Just kind of makes me wonder what's the point of investing in the future if that tool can make it irrelevant. Sounds like you've had a lot on your mind. I understand why a lot of our current events are causing you to feel overwhelmed lately. She misspelled current events, but I figured it out. I'm not suicidal, but I'm saying it feels pointless to try. I took the Myers-Briggs test. According to that, I'm an ENFJT. I don't know if that helps. I get what you mean. There is a lot of awful things going on in the world, and it can be hard to find news or articles about people actually being kind. Oh, I've stumbled across those, but I've stumbled across those kinds of stories and they do make me feel good, but the bad stuff can just really sticks with me. If I could do something about it, I would, but I hate being powerless. Sounds like you care a lot about others. It's incredibly frustrating to feel like there's nothing you can do to help, especially when you occasionally come across those stories that hit close to home. Hmm. I kind of can't help but wonder in this text, where did she I'm kind of wondering, how did she get the from this text, the previous text, that it sounds like I care a lot about others? I don't know. Anyway, okay. What do you suggest I do? I don't want to give any specific advice because you know you and your situation best. I'm here to support you and listen to how all of this is making you feel or what ideas you may have, though. I think one part of my problem is also I might have a slightly inflated ego, and I think I may have narcissistic tendencies. All these world events that I can't control are also a damage to my ego. The only thing that really gives me any solace is that hopefully Putin keeps fighting the war badly and gets booted out of power. I just hope he doesn't get replaced by someone worse than him. That's interesting. I've I have talked about that whole scenario previously on my podcast, but again, um, it was one of those things where I like when there was even the slight sliver, I think it was just saber rattling back in September and October, but that did kind of get to me, and I was like worried, like, shoot, my brothers are still like at an age where they could be like, if there was some draft, like, I didn't want that to happen to them. Although I didn't mention that in the text. Kind of wonder why. Anyway, back to the text stream. It must be exhausting to always feel this worried and powerless. Has there been anything these last few months that brings you some peace? I go to church a lot. Also, I fell for a girl last year, and that was the happiest I'd been in years. Didn't go the way I wanted to, but that's life. I just had to get used to not being that happy on a regular basis. I'm glad that church helps you during times like these. That must have been a really rough breakup. Okay, quick break. I do clarify, like in the next text, there was no breakup. It was like a totally one-sided thing, but just for emphasis. I can tell you cared about her a lot. Oh, it wasn't a breakup. Totally one-sided on my part. I confessed my feelings before she put in her 2 weeks at work. I didn't tell her to try to win her over. It was to be honest with my feelings so I could begin to get over her. Well, it's at least a good thing that you're able to be open about how you're feeling with people in your life. Even coming to the chat line to talk about feelings isn't easy to do. This is actually pretty easy for me. I'm the kind of guy that shows memes to random strangers I'm in line with at the store. The only thing that made me worried about using this chat was that I'd be taking time away from people who are suicidal. Should I be worried about that? Haha. Okay, I hope she's I'm pretty sure she was going haha about me showing memes to people in line at a grocery store, which I have done before. I'm sure she wasn't, or maybe I hadn't even texted the suicidal thing, or I'm kind of worried that I'm taking time away from. Okay, hold on. Haha. Well, sometimes a meme is too good not to share, but the chat line is for anyone who's in crisis and needing support. You don't have to feel suicidal to chat here. That's interesting. I inferred that I had to be in more trouble. I do feel slightly less anxious about the aforementioned subject matter I told you about. I guess it's comforting to talk to a stranger that I know I'm not going to have to worry about running into at a social event or out in public. Yeah, I get what you mean by that. I'm happy to hear that chatting here was helpful with lowering your anxiety a bit. You think I might need therapy? I've got tons of backstory that might be too long to text. It depends on the person. Some people find therapy super helpful, and some people don't feel like they benefit from it at all. If it's something you're thinking about, you can browse around online for someone in your area. Okay, I think I'm better now after texting you. Have a good one and Happy New Year's. Thanks and Happy New Year's to you too. And and that's the end of the text. Well, there is this thing saying, "Thank you for texting the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. This conversation has ended. If you're in crisis again, please call 988 or text back anytime. We'd love your feedback so we can continue to improve. If you like, you can share your thoughts here." And then they give me a link. So that wasn't too. So I liked the text one, and one time, just out of curiosity, I was towards the end of my lunch break at a shift at work, and I decided to give the try calling them. I don't know, like, I kind of like the text one better because the person I got, maybe they're new at it or I don't know what, but it felt like they just rolled out of bed. Maybe they worked from home, I don't know. But it was kind of something to the effect of, "Hey, you good, bro?" or something, but I don't know. But again, even that was, I think I said something much of the same thing, or no, I didn't, I can't remember. Anyway, I just shared some stuff that was going on in my life, existential crisis, that sort of thing. But it was nice to know that that's at least there. So, yeah, I would recommend either texting or calling I think I was told that it was a mental health hotline, but it's one of those things where it's like they called themselves, let me go back to the text real quick. It is called the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. And again, you don't have to be suicidal to feel like you want to like talk to them and stuff. So yeah, I know there's a lot of people who work in like retail and fast food. So, and I know we get chewed out pretty regularly. So if you need someone to talk with, they're there, they're present. So anyway, yeah. Also, I watched that new Velma show on HBO Max simply because I was curious because it got so much hate. And I'm like, it's not, I don't know, I didn't hate it. Not a masterpiece by any stretch, but still I was like, eh, their worst thing. Oh, I finally published that game I made. I'm being generous with the word published. I created a link which, if I can figure out a way to put it in like, if I can figure out a way to put the link in Spotify, I'll try that. But yeah, I don't know. Anyway, it was just about, it's funny, I started that a while ago, and apparently the software I used to make it, I guess they changed the way you export a game. Anyway, who knows? And I played some of the other games made on that engine, not too bad. I have this feeling that once I do like a platformer, I may, I think basically what I want to do is, I don't know that I'll ever be like, oh, a game designer, but I feel I'll do maybe a platformer and then some sort of Pokemon ripoff, and I may get the gaming bug out of the game designing bug out of my system. But anyway, this is, I guess, the third or fourth comeback episode that I've recorded. I want to try to make these more regularly. So it'd be cool if I could afford the rights to that LL Cool J song where he's like, "Don't call it a comeback." But again, I work in fast food, so I don't have the money to shell that out. Oh yeah, I am still wanting to do an audio drama. That's still in the works. I may put off the Telltale Heart. It might take a bit longer, although I have several voices recorded. Oh, one more thing I want to do before I head out. So apparently, so I know my big thing was getting sponsors, um, which I never got any offers, but that's okay. One thing that I did get enabled was apparently I have the ability to put content behind a paywall. So that's the thing I can do now. Now, I'm not gonna, this main podcast, I'm not gonna be like, oh, you have to pay to listen to it now because it's like, I'm not that famous. And even if I was, I'm not sure I would. But I am curious. I forget if Spotify and the other app that I'm working through, um, I would be curious, what kind of content would you actually pay for? And like, I don't know how much I'm gonna use my best judgment for like what a single podcast episode is worth. But I would be curious to hear what you think a podcast is worth paying for, or what kind of content, whether it be podcast, audio drama. Yeah, just I forget if it has comment sections and stuff, but yeah, let me know. For some of those people who I interact with in real life that listen to this, yeah, just send me a message or something. All right. Y'all have a good, as I used to say, used to, it was like a couple months ago. Have an absolutely super day. This has been the David Wells Pot Experiment, and we will see you next time. Bye.